Well, tonight we're going behind the ballot to see the steps local election workers are taking to make sure every vote counts.
Now, WLWT News 5's Todd Dykes is live right now. Hamilton County Board of Elections. We're getting ready for the general election in November is the order of the day, and probably tomorrow and the day after that. Hi there, Todd.
It's full stop, Mike and Ashley, no question about it. Today we took our camera behind doors that are normally closed here at the Board of Elections complex in Norwood. What we saw is an operation that's run in equal measure by members of both major political parties working side by side. There's such a premium on protecting access to ballots and voting equipment at Hamilton County's Board of Elections complex that opening doors is often a two-person job.
I cannot gain access to the vote counting room alone. It takes two people, again, one Dem, one R, in order to be able to gain access and open the door.
From this public viewing area, we watched bipartisan teams sort through materials tied to last month's special election, an effort to clear the deck ahead of the general election coming up on November 7th.
So every job, there's done with two sets of eyes on it.
2 is a number I heard frequently today during a behind-the-scenes tour of the Board of Election.
We call this the ballot cage. So this is where all of the ballots are stored as we're getting ready to ship them out that Saturday before Election Day. And there's 2 padlocks over there on that cage, one Democratic padlock, one Republican padlock.
The same bipartisan approach is deployed when recruiting the 2,000 poll workers needed to operate Hamilton County's 300-plus polling locations.
We do try to strike a balance between the political parties. The poll workers work together, right? They have a common goal. They might have, difference of opinions politically, but on that day they have a common goal, right? And that's to run a fair and efficient election.
The ongoing effort to achieve those 2 words, fair and efficient, is helping Hamilton County stand out during a time of election skepticism in certain parts of the country.
It's important for people to know that our Board of Elections here in Hamilton County is a national leader in this area.
Now, officials refer to one of the spaces that we visited today. They call it the war room when elections are taking place. Experts sit at password-protected computers. They help workers who are running polling locations if they run into any problems. The software used to remedy those issues was developed right here in Hamilton County back in 2017. We're now reporting live tonight in Norwood. Todd Dykes, WLWT News 5.
So, Todd, you mentioned computers that are used to troubleshoot problems on Election Day. They're connected to the internet, but that's not the case when it comes to voting machines, right?
Correct, Mike. According to Ohio Secretary of State, voting machines and tabulating devices throughout the Buckeye State are not connected to the internet. That is a point that local election officials that I talk to often they emphasize quite a bit. They know there are people who worry that there are hackers out there that might try to infiltrate the voting system. But the lack of internet connectivity, though, Mike and Ashley, makes that scenario extremely unlikely. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks so much, Todd. Appreciate the explanation.